Psyche and Soul. Psyche and Soul was a title that my dear friend and colleague Dr. Matthew Bennett and I used when we gave seminars together. And his book is coming out in September 17th that I wrote the foreword to, toward an integrated analytical psychology, a return to freedom and dignity. And why I'm very excited about this is that the question is, how do we apply myth? How do we apply archetype? What is the nature of consciousness? And so much of Psyche and Soul is the relationship of the nature of who we are as primary beings. One of the reasons we're sitting in the philosopher's garden is this return to a type of fundamental a priori structure, meaning if we can begin to conceive of ourselves as an instrument, not a reinvention of something just willy-nilly being done, but actually, again, this relationship that we are composed of soul, meaning that the bearing of who and what we are as human is not mine alone, but is the human that is mine and that I express as a unique individual. And the relationship of psyche, meaning how are we and why are we composed of the different qualities and conditions, the different impulses and desires. And both Dr. Bennett and I, in our different relationship to the psyche, his with psychology and the relationship he bears with Pacifica Graduate Institute, and how he has talked about the psyche and taught for many, many years. And in that experience, really understood the hands-on need for how to navigate the question of what do I ask, how do I ask the question, and where do I ask the question? And this helps us overlay a type of map of integration, because his work on mapping of the psyche, of the quadrants, of what we think of as personality disorders, but you could also say personality qualities, meaning why are we uniquely expressing some shy, some extroverted, some troubled, some happy-go-lucky. What is this in terms of the human dynamic? And so the integration, the psyche and soul element. As Jung once said, that we must be concerned that we don't remove psyche from psychology, meaning the quality of mind, the quality of perception that leads to a type of psychological healing. And one of the overlays with Dr. Bennett and my work is this inclusion of the institutional space of Pacifica and that gathering of those that are following a path of studying the mind, studying the psyche, studying the relationship of mythology and symbolism. And then the journey here, which is the same but was not institutional, it was actually deeply personal and from a much more integrative sense theatrically, meaning how does one connect to one's own character, what is one's own character, how does one live one's own story. And the union of my mapping of the Tarot revisioned, of the Philosopher's Garden, of the hieroglyph of the human soul, has a remarkable overlay to Matthew's work in a return to freedom and dignity. And in that title is a very important element for all of us, which is that psychology and the soul should be elements that restore to ourselves individually a sense of unique dignity. I am human. Wow. I am here because I have come here to be human. Not to inherit something or be entitled to something, but to struggle through it like everyone else, to make some sense of this psyche. Why are we wired the way we are? And a great deal of the work of soul is the question of where can we honor these things. And so the union of the institutional and the public with the private and the creative, the sense of the intimate with the shared collective, coming together create the possibility now for a new integration based of psyche and soul coming together, much like the piano and music. That if we think of soul as music and the psyche as the piano or the instrument, that we've been mapping the piano to free the music. And I truly believe that Dr. Matthew Bennett and I, together, I wrote the foreword to the book, as I said. It's a very important moment because for us, at any rate, important for us, because it is saying art, creation, the sacred, environment, where one lives, integration, can all be brought together. One is not separate from the other, but they are truly connected in ways that if we put them together, will not only create space and place for us, but will honor the fact that we are trying to return dignity and freedom to the human condition. And that question is, where can I do this? How can I do this? And the relationship here is follow a map that brings you home.